1.6 kilometers from the runway. Now, let's take a further look into the extent of the damages caused by the AI-171 crash as revealed in the airport. In the report, of course, the preliminary report released by the AAIB as it continues to investigate the matter. Now, here, of course, we take a closer look at the damage caused. The aircraft was destroyed due to impact with the buildings on the ground and the subsequent fire. So, this is the reason being touted for the aircraft's destruction, which is it had an impact with the building which resulted in the fire. A total of 5 buildings were impacted and suffered major structural and fire damages. So, 5 buildings in the area where the crash took place were affected by the crash. The AI-171 flight first made contact with the trees and a chimney inside the Army Medical Corps compound. So, this is the initial impact where it initially hit trees and a chimney at the Army compound. Now, the right engine struck the concrete water tank structure which you see over there and separated from the airplane. So, the right engine completely separated from the aircraft after impact with the concrete water tank. The tail section and the right hand main landing gear of the aircraft were found embedded in the northeast wall of building A. So, these buildings that were impacted have been marked over here, and this is where the right hand main landing gear was found embedded. The vertical stabilizer separated from the aft fuselage and came to rest about 200 feet south of the initial point of contact with building A. So, this was the initial building which was the point of contact, this building A which has been marked over here, and the vertical stabilizer landed 200 feet away after impact. The inboard parts of the right wing were found in buildings A and B and the area surrounding the buildings. So, these buildings is where the initial impact with was reported, and this is where the main impact took place. The left main landing gear and left wing outboard and middle sections struck building C, which you can see marked over there. So, these are the details also shared in the report of the damage done to the structures after impact, after the tragic air crash, of course. I also now have Vayan Sharma, CEO, Chimes Aviation Academy, which is a flight training organization approved by the DGCA in India, joining me for more on this story. Sir, thank you for taking the time to sit with us. I would of course like to begin by asking you what are the possible reasons with of course the flight fuel engine switch cut off being touted as one of the main reasons behind this crash. What are the possible reasons that this switch firstly could move to a cut-off position, especially looking at the pilot's conversation where they are seen discussing who exactly switched this off, and the other pilot then denies that no, I did not do so. So, what possible reasons could we then look at?
See, any crash, we move into, what I call the 3 stages. First is when immediately the crash happens. There is no facts which are available with you at that time. You don't have the data which you get from the FDR and the cockpit voice recorder. So you just speculate on what could happen. Then comes stage 2, which is after the data is analyzed, AAIB comes out with a preliminary report. The operative word here is preliminary report. This is their first cut from whatever data has come out. They give you what could be or what is pointing towards the most probable cause. It is not definitive. Definitive would happen only after a more exhaustive investigation is done of all the parameters. But looking at the data which has come out right now, it shows a very deliberate action of those 2 switches being moved. We've been discussing this earlier also, that it's a physical movement.
Well, sir, if I could please ask you to rotate your frame actually, so that we can, get you on our screens as we speak about this preliminary report that has been released, and of course try to get your perspective on the matter. So, am I audible? Well, there seems to be some issues with that connection over there. Meanwhile, I also have Chief Pilot Officer Kesri Singh Rathore joining me live on the broadcast. Sir, thank you for taking the time to speak with us here at NewsX. I would like to begin by asking you, major breakthrough, of course, in the development in the Air India crash that took place on the 12th of June. The preliminary report has now been released. I would like to begin by asking you, does the preliminary report, it makes mention of the cockpit voice recording that has emerged out of this report, where the pilots are seen asking, firstly, of course, the fuel switch has been moved to the cutoff position, transition to the cutoff position is what was noticed, after which we see the pilots conversing amongst themselves, where one of them asks the other if he is the one who cut off the switch, to which he replies that he did not do so. So, does this preliminary report in any way then establish a pilot error, keeping in mind, of course, that investigation is still going on in the matter?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I think it's not the case. It's as you already have this thing very experienced pilot who has flown Dreamliner as a commander. He has given his point of views, but certainly it's not true. And normally in such cases, inquiry in like the US crash also, in which that Captain Sully, he landed the aircraft in Hudson, and preliminary investigation held responsible like these pilots. They blame pilot, and later on they said that he has done a great job. So same way here also, no pilot will do this blunder. And first of all, I just want to clarify that these switches are heavily guarded, or they are spring-loaded switches. So no one can like accidentally, or no one can just operate them. Or and like I think there is something else is there. It's not pilot's fault at all, that I can say for now.